Holidays are on their way. It's time for another hashtag 50 Gone by 2024. Let's start with the, as usual, medical disclaimer. Always check with your physician before starting any exercise program or diet regimen. Information here is my personal research into different health topics and not to be considered medical advice. I'm Jane, by the way. With the holidays coming, we have to remember that there are some ways that we can continue to celebrate the holidays, eat a little healthier. So here are a few tips. Holiday-proof your food, or holiday-proof your plan. You may not be able to control what food you're served, and you're going to see other people eating tempting treats. Meet the challenge armed with a plan. Eat close to your usual times to keep your blood sugar steady. If your meal is served later than normal, eat a small snack at your usual mealtime and eat a little less when dinner is served. Invited to a party, offer to bring a healthy dish along. If you have a sweet treat, cut back on other carbs like potatoes, bread during the meal. Don't skip meals to save up for a fast. It doesn't work, folks. In fact, it kind of boomerangs. It's going to make it harder for you to manage your blood sugars, and you're probably going to dip, and then you're going to go wild when it does come time to eat. So you're really going to be hungry, and most likely you're going to overeat. If you slip up, get right back on that healthy eating plan you had. Have pumpkin pie instead of pecan pie. Even with a dollop of whipped cream, you'll cut the calories and sugar by at least a third doing that. Break up physical activity into smaller chunks so it's easier to schedule. I mean, duh. Like walking 10 minutes several times a day. Schedule some me time every day. Whether it's a nap, dog walk, or a hot bath to get your energy back up for the next celebration. Many of us, when we go out for these things, there's a buffet. So outsmart the buffet. When you face a spread of delicious holiday food, make some healthy choices easier. Have a small plate of food, those that you like the best, then move away from the buffet table. Start with vegetables. Take the edge off your appetite. Eat slowly. It takes at least 20 minutes for your brain to realize you're full. Avoid or limit alcohol. If you do have an alcoholic drink, have it with food. Because let me tell you, that can be dangerous. If you're having it on an empty stomach, most likely you're going to get drunk and then you'll wind up having a hangover. So, make sure you stay on top of the amount of alcohol that you are drinking. Fit in your favorites. No food is on the naughty list. Choose the dishes you really love and can't get any other time of year, like Aunt Edna's pumpkin pie. Or, in my case, my mother makes what she calls stuffing. It's not really stuffing, it's more like a bread. And that's something that I used to love eating, and I know the family's continuing to make that, so when I'm there, I will have that. Slow down and savor that small serving. And make sure you count it in to your meal plan. No, if you stand up and eat, it doesn't mean there's no calories. Sorry, doesn't work like that. Keep moving. You've got a lot on your plate this time of year, so physical activity can always get pushed out of the picture. But that is your secret holiday weapon. It can make up for eating more, than usual and reduce stress during this most stressful time of year. Get moving with friends and family, such as taking a walk after a holiday meal, dancing, playing cornhole, softball, t-ball, you name it. If you're in an area where there's a lot of snow, go skiing, sledding, a walk in the snow. Have you ever walked in the forest when there's snow on the ground? It's pretty interesting. And as always, get your sleep. Sleep, sleep, sleep is more important during this time, simply because, as we have found out through various studies, if you're not getting enough sleep, you're more likely to gain weight. Those two go hand in hand. So get as much sleep as possible. Okay? Now, there are a few other things. Again, to be active with family, friends. If you're sitting watching TV, holiday movies, those kind of things, you're more likely going to gain weight. So get active, move around. Doesn't have to be anything out of the ordinary. Sometimes, just like I said, getting that walk in will help. And as always, snack wisely. This time of year, there are a lot of those unhealthy snacks like cookies. Cookie here, cookie there. By the time you get through, you've had, 10 or 12 during the day, and that's going to add on some weight. So be careful with those cookies, okay? Another thing is, if you are making the cookies to take, keep them out of sight until they're ready to be taken to wherever you're taking them. Just be mindful of those snacking things that you're doing. And if you're really hungry, opt for a real food instead of something like a cookie. Fruits, nuts, vegetables, those kind of things. And as always, watch those portion sizes. Nothing has changed. It just means you need to be a little more careful about your portion sizes. So, keep an eye on those. We've talked about this next thing in the past, and it's called mindful eating. Too many times we're in a big rush during the holiday season, so we do a lot of multitasking, and sometimes we do that during meals. So when we're distracted, we tend to eat more than we should. So eat mindfully. Try not to have all those distractions like work, electronics, the computer, YouTube, those kind of things. Try to chew slowly and thoroughly. That's going to allow you to better recognize those signs in your body that you are full, and that'll help you consume fewer calories. And as always, it's great to take a few deep breaths before you start eating. This can help reduce the stress level, give you a little more relaxation, and help you focus fully on your plate rather than your to-do list. Control those stress levels. I know this time of year it's really hard, but there are ways you can do that. And as always, if you are highly stressed, your cortisol levels are going to be higher, and that usually leads to weight gain. So try to keep that stress level down or under control. There are a lot of techniques that you can use to help you reduce stress. And some of those, guess what? Exercise, meditation, yoga, deep breathing. You get the picture. Keep your meals balanced with your protein. Holiday meals are typically really high in carbohydrates, but low in protein. So you need to remember to try to keep a little more protein in your meal, because it does promote a bigger feeling of being full. and it reduces the hunger and the appetite. It's beneficial for weight loss because it increases the metabolism and those levels of appetite-reducing hormones. You know, ghrelin, all those fun ones. Good sources of protein include meat, poultry, fish, and some plant foods like beans and quinoa. And if you've never had quinoa, this might be the time to try it. And if you are going to try it, when you cook it, make sure you rinse it several times before you cook it. Otherwise, it might taste like soap. Focus on some fiber as well. That also helps you feel a little more full. And it can reduce your calorie intake. But of course, a lot of holiday foods lack those fibers. So do your best to get some fiber-rich foods in. Vegetables, fruits, beans, legumes, whole grains, nuts, and seeds. Cut back on the taste testing. You know, make sure that cookie dough is right. Make sure that cookie is good. This time of year, a lot of people are cooking and baking. So, you know, if you're taste testing everything that you're making, those small bites can add up to a whole lot of calories. So be careful there. And the biggest thing while you're cooking is make sure you're not hungry. Same thing as shopping. Make sure you're not hungry when you're doing it. And here's another one again. Bring a healthy dish to share. Limit your dessert intake. Desserts are everywhere during the holidays, aren't they? Boy, are they. So, make sure that when you do get that dessert, make sure it's something you really enjoy. Take the time to savor it. Eat slowly. Let your body and your mind indulge in it. So, you're more likely not to overdo it if you do that. Limit your liquid calories. As always, liquid calories are alcohol, soda, and other calorie-rich drinks. You know, if you're at a party, they do the ginger ale and the ice cream or sherbet, and that's a lot of empty calories. So be careful. And as always, alcohol consumption. Alcohol is a lot of calories. A lot of calories. Use a smaller plate. That's a typical trick to use. Dinner parties, potlucks are common during the holiday season. But you don't have to let it wreck your diet or your plan. Just take smaller portions. Use a smaller plate. Not only that, but our mind is tricked when you fill a smaller plate. You think that you've had quite a few things. So that's something that you can think about doing. Here's another tip. Modify your recipes. You can lower a lot of those high-calorie homemade goods that you're making by replacing butter with applesauce, mashed banana, or pumpkin puree. Instead of sugar, use some stevia, erythritol, or xylitol. But be careful. Too much can be a deadly gas. Add dried fruit instead of chocolate chips or candies. Or half and half. You're going to cut your calories by doing that. Flavor your dishes with herbs and spices instead of the butter. Use cooking methods like baking, steaming, or grilling instead of frying. I mean, that's always good for everything. Substitute low-fat or skim milk for heavy cream. Replace cream cheese, sour cream, and mayonnaise with Greek yogurt. For beverages, try flavoring your treats with vanilla, almond, peppermint instead of butter and sugar. I don't know why I got that under beverages. No, don't do that in your beverage. But for your beverage, use club soda, sparkling water in place of the sweetened beverages. Flavor your drinks with lemon or lime rather than sugar. And also, cinnamon can add flavor to the holiday-themed beverages. Dairy-based drinks use low-fat or skim milk in place of that heavy cream. Now here's a tried and true trick. Weigh yourself regularly during the holiday season. Generally, I don't weigh but once a month because I think the scale has become like this god, so I try not to overdo it and give it too much credit. So weigh yourself regularly, though, during the holiday season. That's going to help remind you of your weight goals that you have. So it's going to allow you to take action before you have the weight creep come in. So if you weigh yourself regularly, it just becomes a routine and helps you with that, so you can plan your meals and those kind of things, rather than, gaining 15 pounds and going, oh my God, what am I going to do? Use the buddy system. Use your friends who are following other weight goal plans, so that you have a partner to help you get through the holidays. Try to find one who has a similar weight goal, and that person can keep you motivated and accountable for the holidays. Reach out to friends, family, colleagues to connect with someone who will make it a good fit. Avoid processed foods. Processed holiday foods such as boxed mashed potatoes and stuffing are more available than ever. While quick and easy, they often contain excess sugar and unhealthy fats that will take a toll on your weight. To prevent weight gain, opt for whole foods and cook your meals from scratch. That's not always easy, is it? Plan ahead. As always, plan ahead. If you have a party on the calendar, ask what foods are being served. And ask if you can bring a dish. Decide what and how much you'll eat ahead of time. But it's also going to be helpful to gather a list of holiday recipes that are healthy so you don't run out of ideas when you need to bring a dish to the party. Skip seconds. You would think that would be one of the first suggestions, just because, but hey. Holiday meals are sometimes served buffet style with several options to choose from in unlimited amounts. This generally leads to people allowing themselves seconds and maybe even thirds. So, make sure that you just eliminated one plateful. That is going to help you just with this plan in general, Draw the line. It's so easy during the holiday season to say, I'll start tomorrow. I'll start January the 1st. I'll start, which will prolong those healthy habits. If you're serious about controlling your weight or losing your weight, you have to draw the line and set limits with yourself. Stick to your goals regarding that food intake. It's okay to say no to certain foods and habits that don't align with your goals. It's important to be aware that you might have a slip-up or two. Don't beat yourself up. Just get back on it. And just remember, while staying on top of your weight goals can feel daunting during the holiday season, multiple tips and tricks can help you keep healthy, happy, and weight conscious during this time of year. And beyond these general diet tips, it's best to make sure you're getting plenty of exercise and limiting your intake of holiday treats. If you're diligent, you may find that you've not only prevented weight gain, but even lost some weight during this time. Here's one more trick I'm going to give you. Hydrate. Hydrate. Water. It's so good for so many ills. Many times, like I said, we think we're hungry, but we're really thirsty. So, hydrate. And if you've ever overdone it on alcohol, hydration is extremely important to follow through on. So that is it today. Hope you found these tips useful. You know, take it with a grain of salt or a grain of pumpkin pie, who knows. Just be careful and don't lose sight of what your goals are. Try to stick with them, you know. You've made these goals for a reason, either to make yourself healthier or because you just want to lose a little bit of the fluffiness. Alright guys, that is it for today. Remember to be kind to one another, be kind to yourself, love one another, love yourself. Because you know what? Sometimes we get into trouble when we don't love ourselves. And get out there and see this big beautiful world. Take a walk. I think you'll find that you're enjoying that a little bit more. You know, or move a little bit more. Dance. You know, kick up the rug. Isn't that what they say? Just dance and have a good time during this holiday. I will see you again soon. So, be healthy. Bye.